and his amiable wife, the patient Goodluck Jonathan, our governors here, ambassadors and members of the diplomatic corps, heads of federal agencies and parastatal, traditional rulers here present, our honorable
partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, it is my singular honor and privilege to welcome you to this momentous occasion, a celebration of the Foundation's remarkable 10-year milestone of impact, and personally, my 6 years of service as Executive Director. We gather tonight not only to commemorate our achievements, but to also reflect on the resilience, purpose, and grace that have shaped our path. But firstly, I must give thanks. Our gratitude as an organization to God knows no bounds. We remain eternally grateful to God Almighty for His grace that has carried us and continues to carry us through every season, the trials, the triumphs, and the quiet moments of reflections. Honestly, without His guidance, we will not be standing here today. His favor sustained us in moments when strength alone was inadequate. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, tonight we gather to reflect on a decade of dedication to democratic governance, peace building, and inclusive development across Africa. Since inception, the Foundation has remained committed to advancing the values of democracy, equity, and progress through strategic initiatives and collaborative partnerships. 10 years later, we stand proud to say that together we have turned bold ideas into transformative action. We have strengthened democratic institutions through election mediation missions, participation in observation missions, policy dialogues, and strategic advocacy across the continent. Our annual Democracy Dialogue, inaugurated in 2021, has grown into a vital platform for reflection, engagement, and strategic action that brings together voices from across the African continent to interrogate the state of our democracy and chart pathways towards its renewal. In Accra this year, we gathered under the theme, Why Democracies Die, a timely and necessary inquiry into the structural and systemic factors undermining democratic resilience both within Africa and globally. Through our advanced peace-building efforts, convening stakeholders in conflict-prone regions, we have fostered peaceful political transitions in various countries in the region and further promoted inclusive governance as a pathway to lasting peace. We are also promoting the security of African states and their citizens within the context of the rule of law, fundamental human rights, and democratic principles via research, learning, and knowledge exchange. We have also contributed to preventing violent extremism, both online and offline, at policy and community level, led initiatives aimed to improve trust and collaboration between state institutions and citizens in advancing peace and security, not only in Nigeria, but across the South region. We have expanded our global footprints, forging partnerships with international organizations, and amplifying African voices on the world stage. And above all, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, conceived in 2022 and in 2021, we launched the West African Elders Forum, my proudest achievement and personal passion project. WAF has grown into a powerful platform to engage in quiet, preventive diplomacy, mediate conflicts, and support democratic transitions across West Africa. Watching WAF evolve into a respected regional force has been one of the most fulfilling chapters of my leadership. And tonight we are very lucky to have 3 members of the West African Elders Forum in our midst. We have His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. We have the former president of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Dr. Ernest Bai Kroma. You're welcome, sir. And of course, we have the former president of the ECOWAS Commission and the UNOWA's head, former UNOWA's head, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers. So we're very fortunate to have 3 members in our midst to celebrate our 10th anniversary. These milestones that I have listed are not just accomplishments. They are proof that resilience, grace, and purpose can overcome skepticism, bias, and adversity. As we mark 10 years of service and commitment, our mission remains clear. The challenges facing our continent ahead are great and demand bold ideas and collaborative action. But we at the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, so is our capacity to meet them. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we raise our glass sometime later tonight, I implore you, all of us, to also raise our sights. With renewed commitments and under my leadership, the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation will continue to be a catalyst for change, a convener of hope, and a champion for a better future. To our friends and partners who have flown from all over the world, we have Dr. Chris Famuyon all the way from the United States of America, who flew in just to celebrate with us. We have Madam Nasu all the way from Sierra Leone, and all our partners seated in the room, NDI, Osiwa. Thank you for your trust and collaboration. To those who doubted us, because we had moments of doubt, we say thank you too. You sharpened our focus and strengthened our resolve. On a final note, Your Excellencies, we'd like to thank you for walking this journey so far with us. We'd like to say thank you for believing in the vision, and thank you for being part of this legacy. Thank you and welcome.
In Africa, and where you have made significant impact through this foundation in the area of humanitarian attention and contribution, in the area of democracy through observation of elections, and you keep going. May God continue to strengthen you and expand your coast in these areas. But for all of us, as you will know, my dear brother, and those of you who are listening to me, democracy particularly is more than elections. There's a lot before elections and a lot after elections that will make for real democracy. Democracy that will deliver for the welfare and well-being of the people. And democracy, as is being practiced today in Africa, and even in the countries where we have inherited democracy, Europe and America, they are asking questions about their own democracy. I believe it is time for us to also, in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, to start rethinking democracy.
congratulate the former president on his birthday, as well as the 10th anniversary of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation. Your Excellencies, Bayelsa sits at the very center of the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta is the biggest wetland in Africa, with a unique geography that is sufficient to save Nigeria. Your Excellencies, Bayelsa, the Niger Delta has a total of 27 estuaries. Bayelsa has 13 of those 27 estuaries, meaning Bayelsa is more delta than delta states, more rivers than river states. And that is where President Jonathan came from. This is to formally thank Nigeria and indeed the international community for nurturing our son. What he has become today is what Nigeria and indeed the international community offered him. From the creeks of the Niger Delta, he has become what he is today, meaning that there are boundless opportunities for every one of us anywhere you find yourself in this country. So thank you, Nigeria. Thank you, the international community. After his presidency, he has been sojourning everywhere. That shows his usefulness to the community, international community. As a state, we will continue to appreciate him. We will continue to support his foundation. But most importantly, whatever that has happened to his foundation is because of the character of the man behind the foundation. We appreciate you. And once more, congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, today is your birthday. Also today is the 10th anniversary of something very close to your heart. We all know at some point in the course of my life and career, I was very privileged to meet with you for the first time, with my predecessor, my late father of blessed memory, Oni Shijuade Olubushe II. But that was very far off. Again, I had another opportunity to meet you. But that meeting, for the rest of my life, it will continue to linger on. I met you at the nick of you leaving the office. My group then, we were the last set of people you had an official meeting with at the villa. And you said to us, we should have come, but this is your very last official meeting. You will pray for us. We are all young people. And you wished us well. And you said to us what you are always saying, that the blood of every Nigerian is so important to you than your political ambition. Today, I stand in front of you. My predecessor was still alive then when I came to Abuja at the villa, not knowing that he will soon join his ancestors. And 10 years ago as well, you are celebrating 10 years of your foundation today. Today, I want to tell you too that to the glory of God, this is my 10th year on the throne of my forebears. You also prayed for me then, and your prayer actually came to pass in my life. This is the greatest achievement for me, and to the glory of God, it is dedicated to the youth of our country to continue to propagate the emancipation of our youth. Your Excellency, I thank you very much for Goodluck Jonathan Foundation you set up 10 years ago. Please, I use you as a point of contact to celebrate and greet all dignitaries that are here. I want to use you also as a point of contact to stand on all established protocols. But I will greet the father of our nation, especially the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ably represented here by our very intelligent Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima. Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring your own. They laid all this foundation of what you are building on. You can imagine, let us play it back. If His Excellency President Goodluck Jonathan actually refused to surrender power, maybe we will not have the Vice President here today. On this note, let us appreciate him. Let us clap for him. Let us honor him. I think you can do better for him. Let us stand on our feet. Since we are all talking and chatting, let us appreciate this elder statesman that God has given to our nation. He laid that foundation of peace. He laid that foundation of unity. He said, each and every blood of us, our blood flowing through our vein, is more important than his own political ambition. Let us honor him. Give him a resounding round of applause. Stretch your legs, stand up, give him, keep clapping for him. If you know that he truly deserves this legacy of honor. For me, I believe so. We should be celebrating him all the time, and we'll continue to celebrate him. I want to thank our mothers too. I can see Ajia Abacha. I can see our mama patients. I didn't tell you to sit down because you decided to be talking when we should be honoring our very own. So please remain standing. That's a traditional order. Okay, you can be seated. Thank you very much. On this note, Your Excellency, I want to thank God Almighty for your life of simplicity, your life of grace, your life of honor, and what is in this world. You have shown it to all of us that it is only God that gives power, and it is only God that takes it away. You are very popular across all the four corners of this continent. There is no major election they're doing across the entire continent and even beyond that they will not call Goodluck Jonathan Foundation to come and observe. It is a good and a very formidable giant stride. Keep up the good work. God will bless you and bless all the works of your hand. Happy birthday. God bless you and bless your legacy. Many happy returns from the throne of Oduduwa. God bless you and God bless our dear country, Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Jonathan, the staff, partners, and all that have contributed to this journey. I wish to note with delight the specific achievements and contributions of the Foundation in promoting democracy and good governance, with particular reference to key initiatives around supporting credible elections, facilitating dialogue, promoting youth and women's participation, and contributing to conflict resolution and peace-building efforts. There is no doubt that the foundation has come a long way in that respect, but the vital role of its work in the current global or regional context is to recognize that democracy and good governance are not destinations, but continuous journeys requiring constant vigilance and effort. Today's event is not just a celebration, but one that also provides an appropriate time and opportunity for us to reflect on the past, the present, and future of democracy. The task before us today is no longer simply to campaign for democratic principles. We have to make sure that those principles are actually implemented. Recent happenings, especially within the political space, demand that we look much deeper into the frightening scenarios that are unfolding. I therefore urge the foundation, along with other stakeholders, including governments, civil society, and individuals, to recommit to democratic values, ensure good governance, and address these glaring issues that threaten our democracy and seek to reverse the progress and gains we have made. I am optimistic in the foundation's vision that seeks to encourage innovative solutions with a focus on building democratic norms that provide a more inclusive, just, and prosperous society. In conclusion, I want to express my sincere gratitude for the privilege of being here as a guest of honor at this event. Happy birthday and many happy returns, Mr. President. May the blessings of the Lord be with you today and always. May the future of the foundation come with much greater achievements. Thank you and God bless.
Of course, the larger family that I now represent, which is the PDP family, the largest party in Africa. I bring you, sir, messages of goodwill and solidarity. Goodwill, because today is your birthday. We therefore wish you many, many happy returns in good health and prosperity. We pray to the Almighty God to continue to enable you, to strengthen you, and grant you more wisdom to continue the good work that you've been doing for humanity. Message of solidarity, because today is the 10th year anniversary of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation. We have watched with keen interest the activities of the foundation from its inception to date, and we've seen how this foundation has now grown up to be one of the most respected foundations in Africa. The key areas of intervention of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation are, among others, in the area of peace, security, and democracy. For us, these are some of the key core values that we cherish, because peace is essential in any civilized society. Without peace, there will never be development. And without development, there will never be progress. But for security, again, in all civilized societies, it is being viewed as the inalienable responsibility of governments to the citizens. Security for their lives, security for their properties. And so, making any intervention in the area of security is something that is phenomenal. For democracy, people more often than not in a very loose manner define it as being government of the people, for the people and by the people. For us in PDP, it goes beyond that. It encompasses a whole chain of activities, not just an isolated event of an election. What happens before election? What happens during election? What happens post-election? And we've seen how through your foundation, sir, you'll be making intervention in the processes of peace building, consensus building, mediation between people who under normal circumstances will have been at war or at daggers drawn with each other. The successes that the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation had achieved, not only in the West African sub-region, but indeed in the whole of Africa, is something that every Nigerian should be proud of. Now, this is a foundation, the roots of which is in Nigeria, and it has grown to make noticeable and highly successful interventions in virtually most of the countries in West Africa and indeed in other parts of Africa. It's something that is highly commendable. And that is why, for us, the intellectual wing of our political party, the PDI, had also been identifying with the key programs of the foundation and supporting and making interface with the foundation in certain critical areas that are geared towards deepening and strengthening not only democracy, but indeed democratic institutions. Because unless you build, you nurture, you strengthen these institutions, then democracy itself as a concept will remain hollow and it will not make any sense. So while congratulating you, sir, I want to urge you and urge the foundation to expand your space of activities, to know that the involvement that you've been doing even outside these areas, like providing skills, sponsoring indigent students to get education, is something again that is phenomenal. I therefore want to thank you, sir, and the prime movers of the foundation to continue to do what you've been doing. We are proud of you, and then we will continue to identify with you and support you. Finally, sir, we wish you many more quality years of service to the fatherland, many more quality years of service to humanity, while not forgetting the West African Elders Forum also, that had been nurtured and which has now become a force to be reckoned with, garnering a lot of respect as far as mediation and settlement of disputes are concerned at the highest level of governance in West Africa. Therefore, congratulate you, sir, and I congratulate the foundation for these achievements that have been made. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. For the next speaker.
Goodluck Jonathan and the foundation, how proud we are of you, what you represent not just for Nigeria, not just for West Africa, but for all of Africa and for the global South, gives us reasons to hope that the future is going to be bright. I have had the privilege of watching His Excellency and the foundation in very difficult, challenging political environments in the Sahel, in countries like Guinea, Conakry, in Sierra Leone, and in many other places, in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, in Mozambique. I can go down the list, and I can tell you that even if you may not realize it here in Nigeria, all of Africa is extremely proud of the work of the foundation, and most importantly, His Excellency, Former President Goodluck Jonathan. And let me just say, to transition, that it's a particular honor to be here on the birthday of His Excellency, Your Excellency, you've always looked very young. And now that I have the microphone, can I take the opportunity to congratulate you on your birthday and to wish you many happy returns for decades upon decades upon decades to come. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you, sir. Please, one more time, can we give him a round of applause? Thank you, sir. Please, sir. Thank you, sir.
Also know that I was going to say something. I usually, whenever I am before the president, I first see myself as a staff who should not speak but walk. But unfortunately for me today, I've been found out to speak. Well, if you ask me to talk about today, maybe if I have opportunity, I will focus on my boss. But today is not just about him, it's about the foundation. But if you also ask me, I will say whenever I see or think about the foundation, I only say, yes, my boss is now doing again what he knows how to do best. He is a teacher of democracy. He practices democracy. Everything about him is democratic. And I want to share a few instances why we worked under him. One day, he called us, and we were complaining about something. And after that, we decided to request him to take certain action. And he told us that whenever a leader exercises 40% of his powers, he will become a nuisance. And this is what most people had not been able to emphasize about him. That the leader, in the capacity of an executive president, possesses enormous powers. But President Goodluck Jonathan spent more time and energy in making sure he restrains himself from exercising the powers of his office. Sir, we thank you for the work you have done for Nigeria. I am proud to say that the West African sub-region, the African continent, will benefit greatly from your wisdom, from your experiences, from your good heart, and indeed from your philosophical commitment to deliver on what is good, what is fair, and what is right. Congratulations, sir, for your birthday. Congratulations for the foundation. Thank you, sir.
Kindly take your seat. And caliber of Nigerians present here that spread across political, religious, ethnic, and geographical divides. This is not just an event, but a celebration of African legacy. President, gold and silver he doesn't have, but goodwill and prayers he has in tremendous quantity. From elder statesmen and women, living legends, technocrats, politicians, captains of industry, the high and useful Nigerians, I beg to say that President Goodluck Jonathan GCFR has easily joined the greatest legends, leaders in Africa. All members, 90% of the members of his cabinet are here. Former governors. I have seen former Governor Atahiru Dalhatu Bafarawa. I have seen my very good friend Emeka Ihedioha. I have seen Mr. Boni Haruna, and the elder statesman David Jonah Jang, and so many ministers. And I want to single out for special recognition the former SGF. Two of them are here, Ayim Pius Ayim and Boss Gida Mustafa. And my very good friend, Mohamed Bello Adoke. He was the Attorney General under former President Goodluck Jonathan. He's a man of honor and integrity, and he has never failed to vigorously defend the former president at every opportunity. The man at the center of this gathering, former President Goodluck Jonathan, stands as a profound lesson on life after public service. A statesman who preserves our democracy at the moment when it matters most. He has remained the same guardian of our collective values since leaving office. We have watched him journey across nations as an evangelist of the democratic ideals he once defended at home. There can never be enough words to express the depth of our national gratitude to him. And it is on this note that we gather to celebrate him and honor his exemplary legacy, his humility, and his enduring commitment to peace and humanity. The difficult thing about life after public service, especially after one has risen to the highest pedestal our nation can offer, is learning how to serve again. There, as we have seen time and again, are two vehicles to board in doing so. Some choose a vehicle that serves only themselves, one that pursues causes capable of harming the very society that once carried them. History has shown us time and again that this group often becomes a cautionary chapter in the literature of legacy. The other group chooses a nobler path, devoting their life to the service of humanity, expanding their sense of duty beyond office, and accepting that leadership is a lifelong calling. These ones become a pantheon of heroes, immortal in the memory of generations yet unborn, and yet they devote their lives to the timeless task of nation building. I was reading a book about lives after office of former American presidents, Thomas Jefferson, and John Quincy Adams, and Grover Cleveland had the best of years of their lives after leaving office. And President Goodluck Jonathan is having the best years of his life after leaving office. President Goodluck Jonathan's decision to channel his passion into the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation proves one truth. Life begins anew when we leave the high offices for which we are elected. What happens thereafter defines something greater than politics, greater than tenure. It defines whether public service was just a position or whether it is, in fact, an eternal covenant for those who truly care for the people. Over the 10 years since he set up the foundation, and over 10 years since leaving office, the West African region, and indeed the world, has witnessed democracy come under severe threat. A threat from forces that do not share in the philosophy of former President Jonathan, where he has shown us that nobody's ambition surpasses the sovereignty of the state. Democracy has been weakened by adventurers, by extremists, by actors intoxicated by power, by those who see institutions as inconveniences and elections as formalities. And it is only now, as the world contends with these storms, that we fully grasp how timely and visionary it is to have a foundation solely committed to strengthening our democratic culture. If you look no further than around us, you will see what it means to sabotage the principles of democracy. The chaos that follows such subversion is never good for anyone, not even for those who stand aside and do nothing. And as Franz Fanon said, every onlooker is either a coward or a traitor. This is why, no matter how strong our sentiments, no matter whether our prepared candidates win or lose, we must learn to respect the wishes of those who vote differently, because democracy offers us repeated opportunities to renew our mandates. There will always be another election, another season, another chance to reclaim what we lost or reinforce what we gain. Every nation seeks a delicate balance, a balance where the government plays its part and the people do the same. A balance where the government sets the pace and the citizens, leaders of thought, and those who influence saturate that space with positive energy. No government can succeed without the cooperation of its people, and no people can advance without a government that listens and leads with clarity. I believe that what the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation has championed over these years stands as a template for us all, a template for leaders who may feel idle after office, for citizens who assume that service ends when the last official vehicle is parked, for everyone who believes that one can only serve through political office. This foundation shows that service is a continuum, and that leaving office is not the end of one's national duty, but the beginning of a new chapter. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our democracy stands because of people like former President Goodluck Jonathan. People who believe that the Nigerian state is bigger than any individual. People who understand that the state is greater than all of us and must therefore be protected with courage, with restraint, and with patriotism. The highest point of the Jonathan presidency was not that he won an election for a second term. The highest point of the Jonathan legacy was when he courageously conceded defeat and saved the nation from a precipice. Our democracy has survived turbulent election seasons and the schemes of conflict profiteers because we have collectively resolved that this nation cannot succeed unless every person and every group works for it. And it has become easier due to organizations such as this foundation, which carry the torch of democratic principles within and beyond our borders, promoting peace, accountability, and the sanctity of human life and the ballot. What President Jonathan said, that the life of a single Nigerian is superior to my longevity in office, is one of the finest statements ever made by a politician in Nigeria. More than ever before, the world needs voices of reason and champions of peace. That task is never the responsibility of one man or one institution. It is a shared duty, and the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation exists to remind us that each of us must play our part in preserving our civilization, securing our continent, and advancing humanity. So, on behalf of my boss, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and the good people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I congratulate former President Goodluck Jonathan, GCFR, and the exceptional team that has kept this foundation standing strong through the years. This 10th anniversary has no doubt produced witnesses to the essence of this foundation. We look for more seasons of your advocacy, your devotion to democracy, peace, collaboration, and transformation. May your example continue to inspire generations, and may this foundation continue to be a light on our path toward a more peaceful and prosperous Africa. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Please, you will join us for the cake cutting that's going to happen right now. Please, before you go to your seat, would like to invite former President Goodluck Jonathan.
GCON, for coming for this event as a special guest of honor. And let me thank you for your kind words. Let me also appreciate my good friend, His Excellency Ernest Bai Koroma, the former President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Let me appreciate Her Excellency Mrs. Miriam Abasha, the former First Lady. Thank you very sincerely for coming to honor us. Let me appreciate His Excellency Dr. Mrs. Patient Jonathan, my dear wife. Thank you for coming. Let me appreciate the keynote speaker, His Excellency Dr. Ibn Chambers, who was one time the president of the ECOWAS Commission and UN at the time. He was the UN rep in the Sahel, my good friend, a member of the West African Elders Forum. Thank you for the brilliant speech and your kind words. Let me appreciate some of the royal fathers I've seen. Probably there are more, but let me sincerely appreciate His Royal Majesty Oba Ade Ogunwusi, the Oni of Ife, and the Olori, the dear wife, Elizabeth Ogunwusi. Thank you for coming to support us. Let me appreciate His Royal Majesty King Papa Priye Dietespe, the Amano of Prombral, and the Queen. Thank you, my big uncle, for coming to support us. And let me appreciate my childhood friend, His Royal Majesty King A.J. Turner, the Olay III, and the Obanaban of Oloibiri Kingdom. Thank you for always supporting me. We have among us so many former and serving government officials. We have former members of the National Assembly here. We have former ministers, 2 former secretaries of government. We have serious members of the private sector here. I wouldn't want to bore you more by calling names. I appreciate all of you because most of you have come to greet me, so I know you are here to support us. Because I'm not going to read my speech, so I'll just make a little remark. After the 2015 election, and I lost the election, and I called my challenger, General Buhari then, to congratulate him. A number of people came to me that you are leaving the office. A number of people, when they look at my face, they think I am a young person, but I'm not a young person. They say, you are still young, so you need to see what you could do. You need to set up a foundation. A number of people came up with different proposals, different suggestions. And I know and I have to appreciate Tony Elumelu, who came to me and talks about setting up a foundation. I said, I've never been in civil society. I don't know how foundations work. So who do you think can manage the foundation for me? Because I would not be able to manage the foundation myself. He said that he would have recommended one lady and jail. But that because she's the Cameroonian American, she will not be able to, probably. I said, okay, we can still see her. So Angel came to me and we had a conversation. So we decided to start the foundation. And we have quite a number of things that we should do. We are looking at issues of women, We are looking at issues of children, issues of education, issues of poverty alleviation, issues of hunger, and so on. So Tony Elumelu again sent somebody who was managing his foundation at that time. I've forgotten his name, but he's a European, who came to me. And I told him the areas I wanted to focus the foundation. And the man said, I don't think you should go that way. That in Africa, most former presidents set up foundations and put so many things that they want to do. So they became jack of all and master of none. And people hardly know what they do. That when you were in office, there are two areas that people appreciate you so much. The issues of democracy, because you strengthened the Electoral Commission, and that as a sitting president, you call your challenger even before elections were concluded, and the whole world celebrates you for that. That you can go that area because immediately you announce it, people will believe in you because you have demonstrated it. And you did a lot of public sector reforms while in office. You strengthened a lot of institutions. So you can also go to public sector reforms. So we now change the whole things we wanted to do. And I remember when my childhood friend King Turner came, and I told him, look, this is what we want to do. And he looked through everything, and there was nothing about environment. King Turner said, how can you? You are from the Naija Delta, the epicenter of environmental challenges. Your academic background is environmental. And you worked as a Assistant Director of Environmental Protection for years in Umpadeg. It will be difficult for you to have a foundation that will not talk about the environment. But I said, well, everybody talks about environment. So I think I should leave the environmental issues to that. That's how we decided to concentrate on issues of democracy and public sector reform. But we have not done anything in terms of public sector reform because for you to go there, a government must invite you to go and work there. The only thing close to that was when we worked with international ideas in the Gambia to review their constitutions. So we decided to center on issues of democracy and governance. And just like my executive secretary have said it all, Ms. Anne Yonu, the media, the documentary, yeah, also you heard all. So we are now doing more of the issues of democracy and governance. And we have few products, though we are doing a number of things, like my executive director did mention, even in the documentary, you showed that even during the COVID, we did something. We can actually do anything we want to do. But the key area is about democracy. And one of the #1 products is the West African Elders Forum that we set up. A forum that is made up of former presidents of countries and former presidents of ECOWAS that we believe knows much about the West African sub-region. And this is a preventive diplomacy program. And just like she said, we noticed, even when I was in office, that most of the challenges we have used to emanate from poorly managed elections. In fact, Mali is still there. It was just parliamentary election that led to the crisis in Mali, not even presidential election. So we set up the West African Elders Forum so that we go to countries close to their elections and also go during their elections. The idea, yes, we observe the elections, but we are not co-observers. We go there to make sure that if we notice anything that is coming up negatively, we intervene and try to see what we could do so that those issues will not snowball into crisis. And the condition to be a member of the West African Elders Forum is that you must be a former president within the sub-region and a former president of ECOWAS. Because we are not too many So some vice presidents, like one of the ladies that spoke, the former vice president of the Gambia, also a member. But one clear condition is that you will not longer be an active politician. And that is why I'm disappointing most of my friends. They expect me to play active role in politics. But before I play active role in politics, I will first and foremost resign from the West African Elders Forum before I can play active role in politics. So, but then we do use presidents that are still active, but not as members of the forum. I remember during the Nigerian election, last election, we had nobody because Baikoroma would have left the team because I am a Nigerian, so I couldn't lead the team. But Baikoroma was being used by ECOWAS, and we wanted an English-speaking person. So we have to bring John Mahama, even though we knew he was still in active politics in Ghana. But we borrowed him, just come and lead this mission and go back. You are not yet a member until you finish your political activity. So that's our number one product. The second one, which also was mentioned by the Executive Secretary, was our annual democracy dialogue. We try to look into some areas of the practice of democracy in Africa. And we get experienced speakers to come and speak on it. This documentary, I expected them to bring some of those species, some parts of those species, but I didn't see any of them. And that's one thing that if we are doing this again, at least you omitted that. I don't know who put it together, but you omitted that completely, which is not because that's the key thing we have been doing. The last one was held in Accra, Ghana, and we think that probably the next one will go to East or Southern African countries, or probably could be done in Nigeria. These are two major programs. But within the country, whenever elections are coming up, we used to hold conferences, discuss with stakeholders, and play a role in suppressing crisis. So let me, on behalf of the foundation, sincerely thank all of you for coming. Let me appreciate the Vice President for coming with your team. Appreciate all our guests for coming. In fact, former governors are here, former ministers, former secretary of government. I've even seen some of my bosses from UMPA. They were my directors when I was assistant director. I've seen some of them here. So I have to thank all of you. Yeah, Dr. Ekefre was my director of project monitoring from Cross River State. Thank you for coming. My good friends in the National Assembly, I have to thank all of you and promise you that we'll continue to do our best. For us as a nation, this is a very sad moment. About 25 girls were kidnapped. And it reminds me of what I faced when the Chibok girls were kidnapped when I was in office. In fact, myself and Vice President, he was the governor of Borno State. When the girls were kidnapped, I was the president. I know the headache we had. So we really pray that these girls be rescued. We condole with the families of the people who have lost their life, the general, the vice principal of the school, and all the other people that are still in detention. We pray that this country gets out of this situation very soon. It's a sad moment. And for those of us who are in active politics, I still pray that whatever we do affects everybody. And we must play our politics with decorum, with sense of responsibility, not with rascality. Politics is not a business of rascals. Politics is, you are trying to create leaders. You are trying to create leaders. So you must show that you are an extremely responsible person. For you. In fact, when we are in Ghana, The keynote speaker then from our Democracy Day was Bishop Cooker. And he said that if you look at everything in the world, even if it is to make Accra or bonds, I don't know their names, there are people who learn before they do it. Even to teach in primary school, you go through a training process, get certificates before you can even teach in nursery school. But that is only in politics that there's no training. Somebody just wake up, is a politician. You don't know where the person is coming from, the next day is your governor. No basic training. And it is a problem. We must change the face of politics. We must see politics as a business of responsible individuals, not a business that they play in the motor park. Once again, let me not go too far before I say things that I'm not supposed to say. So let me, on behalf of the foundation and on behalf of my family, actually today is for the foundation, but all the speakers also appreciated my birthday. And that is the problem the foundation will continue to face. Maybe we have to do something. Because the foundation was launched on my birthday in 2015, when I launched the transition hours. And the proceeds from that book was used to start the foundation. So it now coincides with my birthday. So at the time that we are doing maybe 20th anniversary, 25, my birthday will always come up. So I have to thank all of you for your beautiful words, your encouragement, and promise that we'll continue to do our best. I thank you all.
I think the applause should be louder, louder, louder than that. The ovation should be louder than that. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you for the kind. And thank you all for being a fantastic audience. My name is Iroele. Enjoy the rest of your conference.
Thank you.